final match today features Ron Pelletier against Peter Pierce, just off that 182-155 win over Mitch Lewinsky. Pelletier comes in 4th seeded in today's up-the-ladder finals. Ron, a rookie on the Pro Tour. First time we've seen him on Duckpin Magic out of Fall River, Massachusetts. Well, and he served notice that he's not going to be intimidated by Peter Pierce.
Didn't see any fear in that delivery. I don't know if, I don't really know. Here you'll see it looks like a Peter Pierce strike. I don't know if Ron's ever qualified before, to be honest. This could be his first time. Quick 7.
4-7-8 for Peter Pierce remaining. Peter's highest league average, 155. He had a high single at 247. His 3-game set is 585. And he's been number 1 on the Pro Tour numerous times.
I think 4? Yeah, 4-time Pro Bowler of the Year. 10-time Pro Tour champion. And I tell you...
And he gets a little help, too, as if he needs it.
Here you'll see a replay of what happens when you throw the ball accurately. There's a little zip on it. 9-10. Turn it into a strike. See, there's where fate comes in. You know, Peter walks up, throws the ball. I don't think personally as well as Ron just delivered that ball. Ends up with a strike. Ron breaks to 9-10. And that's where the head game comes into it.
Well, Ron Pelletier on his fact sheet says his nickname is Stretch. But you couldn't tell by looking at him, eh?
6'2". Maybe a little more.
One of his other interests, in addition to bowling, volleyball. Sort of fits as well.
I would say.
Ron's got some impressive numbers. 147 league average, 242 high single, and 583 high 3-game set.
Pretty impressed with his delivery. He has a nice smooth arm swing, nice lift on the ball. Sort of shows a lot of confidence. A little action on the pin itself. They hit the 7 and come out of the pit and went across the lanes. Shows he's got a little zip on the ball. Peter 30 plus in frame number 2. Ron 39 plus in frame 3. Boy, he takes advantage of a break. I'll tell you, he bowled the first 2 frames not well. Pushed the pins off in the first frame, left the 4, 7, and 8. Drove 3 pins in the pit. Threw a not real pretty, not a Peter Pierce strike, of course. Had the 3, 9, 10. Worked those 3 down for a strike, and then you just saw what happened here.
Yep, once again, not happy with, looked like the step that time.
A lot of times when you see a bowler do that, and you see him falling with the approach, on the push-off, your foot slips out. To have the presence of mind to pull up is very difficult. If you watch, his start is pretty quick for a big guy. It's a little step, but it's pretty quickly taken. It takes long strides to get to the line. So it's sort of what I call a moving 3-step approach. He gets from the end of the approach to the line with 3 steps. Now, he has that sort of stutter that gets him started. If you made him keep his feet still and only take 3 steps, he probably couldn't bowl.
Ron Pelletier.
Went around the side of that a little bit, Mike, and you see what happened. 5, 6, 7, and 10.
Battle of the left-handers here. Winner moves on to next week's Final 4, in which we will eventually crown a champ for this Pro Tour stop.
Winner of this match will go on to face Barry Egoff in the first match next week. Barry, recent Pro Tour champion with a win at Hagerstown, Maryland. Barry, just recently, he's had the ability to be a good bowler, but just recently sort of started to shine. Another young one that's gained a lot of confidence, and when you put a little bit of confidence with a lot of ability, a lot of things can happen.
Well, spare for Ron Pelletier. He's going strike, open, spare in the fifth.
Peter, spare, strike, spare.
Strike. He is bowling as well as you can bowl. Honestly, let's face it, the game and a half here that we've seen him this week, it's tough to say, well, you've got to bowl better than that.
Mike, I've watched this man for a number of years, and he never ceases to amaze me. See, he can throw him from anywhere. His pocket is large, and he's very accurate. Here you see it again.
Take a look at this one. All his strikes are very similar, too.
Well, they're so fast that they appear to be the same.
They just leave very quickly, yes.
When Peter gets locked in, he really can throw a lot of balls in the same place, and he hasn't done that today. He's been a little bit all over, but the ball's so live. If they can get on one of the replays, if we get the opportunity, watch his hand at the release. It's not the speed as much as that crack at the end. And he hits it as hard as anybody. You just can't see it under normal conditions of watching him bowl because his arm speed's so quick anyway. But that hand hits just at the right time, and the fingers actually, I just can't explain it. It's loose. If he were a baseball pitcher, I would say with the coordination and the arm motion he had, he would throw it in the mid-90s because of the wrist strength and the snap.
Ron Pelletier looking to pick up the 6-9-10 spare. Doesn't do it. Leaves the 9. .87 for Ron through 7 frames, and here's Peter Pierce. He has had marks through the first 6.
108, working on a double, frame number 5.
And only 1 open frame in the last match.
Working on a TV 200. Whoops, he pulled that ball a little bit. What's the matter with you, Peter? The guy's losing it, Mike.
Well, coincidentally, he had the open frame in the 7th of the last game, too.
Watch what happens here. If he makes this, sometimes all 3 pins come back on the lane. Up, he pushed them right in the pit. None of them came back. He really exaggerates something that we all have to do if you want to be a good bowler, and that's get the ball started with a straight arm. Lock the elbow, push the ball out in front of you. Now watch what he does. The first movement he makes. So many times a bowler's first movement is with his feet. Then you're constantly trying to catch up. You've got to push that ball out in front of you and let that be one of the first motions. Get the arm into motion. The feet will catch up. If the feet get in motion, the arm can't catch up. That's when you get the snatched shot, the yank.
Now it comes back after the open frame with a spare.
Actually, the first game, Mikey had 7 in a row and then opened in the 8th. This time
he was 6 with the open in the 7th. It comes back in the 8th with a spare. So
shot 182, and he's 9 plus ahead of his pace. Somewhere over 180 average for these 2 games. A little early to say, but Ron can't beat him. You know, it's simple as that. We're going to have to look at Peter Pierce. I guarantee you Barry Egolf, Steve Ivorone, and Nemo Lingerman, who are waiting for next week and watching, would have loved to see Ron Pelletier remove Peter Pierce. The man has 10 stars. Common sense would tell you, you gotta. He don't have any more room on his back. He's got a rack of pins, right? He's got 10 of them. Where's he gonna put the next one?
We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
That's probably why he's 110. He's big enough to put him anywhere he wants on his back. He's got a lot of back to put him on.
Maybe he'll start a row under his name now.
I'm not too sure that don't keep him slow. You know, he's carrying the weight of the stars.
Extra weight, huh?
It's a little tough on Ron to be, you know, your, what do you call it, premier
debut on Duckpin Magic and run into a superhuman effort by Peter Pierce. We'll be back to finish it up and see what Peter Pierce ends up with in this match coming up right after this.
The only
Peter Pierce to bowl frames 9 and 10, looking for a possible 200. All the times that we've done television shows, we get to see a 200 game.
You're right, and we had a lot of them here in the qualifying, as you mentioned, over a dozen of them. He has his work, even Peter Pierce has his work cut out here. He has the 1, 8, and 10. I don't know where I'd shoot it. If I were Peter Pierce, I'd just hit the front one. It might break in half, and, you know,
give it a good shot.
He's doing.
Yeah.
The guy knows what he's doing. He doesn't just throw it hard. Tell you, a lot of times in a situation like this, Mike, a bowler does let up. He's beating the other guy. He wants to get on. You know, he is a winner. You let up a little bit, and that could cost us the 200 game in some instances. Now, he could throw a double here. We're going to have 8 marks this game unless he slides this. He gave it a shot. Well, he dropped behind last game. If he hits one, he'll have 179, and he does.
He still has a 180 average. A little over 180 average for the 2 games so far today.
180.5, huh? He's slipping, though. It's something for Barry to look at, you know. He's kind of losing it a little.
Ron's just trying to get on and get off.
Must be nice to open 3 out of the last 4 frames and shoot 179, Mike.
Nice spare there by, nice 10 rather. It's 179, 117 as Peter Pierce eliminates Ron Pelletier, and we'll be back to wrap things up right after this.